on, guys? We have the in-season tournament quarterfinals going on tonight. We'll break those down. We have a Monday night football game. We'll get into that with the Bengals and the Jags coming off a little bit of a rough Sunday. A couple of rough weeks in a row in the NFL, 11 winning weeks in a row, and we were due for some regression on that at some point. And what's the phrase on that? The hens came to roost. So that's what we have going on the NFL from the weekend. A little bit of a rough day yesterday, some tight ones, John.
Yeah, and more than a rough day. And more than a rough month. One of the worst prolonged losing streaks that I've ever had. 11 straight winning weeks in NFL to start the season. The last two, total opposite, with yesterday being the worst. It's one thing to have a bad beat. Those are going to happen every once in a while. No. We caught three bets, three bad beats. I mean, absolutely brutal. And no excuses. An L is an L, just like a win is a win. We win them the same way, going to lose them the same way. But 3-1 bait, just hard to swallow. Colts, if anybody that had the Colts thinks that they had the right side, you're a fool. The right side was the Titans, led the whole way. Two block punts. Teams don't get two block punts in a season. They had two block punts. We overcame that. Game is won. We need to kick an extra point. We missed an extra point. Two block punts, extra point, go to overtime, score first, still lose the game. So you can see I'm beyond. I'm actually got the wife beater on to change the luck. We tore the How to Beat the Bookie shirt off yesterday, as we are no longer How to Beat the Bookie. We are the Massa Edge. And again, guys, it's just about an edge. Anything can happen, and we saw it yesterday. So two block punts, mixed extra point by Tennessee, and even scoring first in overtime, still not good enough. We lost the fucking game. That was tough. Our other early game, what the hell was our other early game? I'm like punch drunk right now.
Denver. I had a chance late.
First and goal at the 8. Outplayed. I mean, you could not have been more outplayed than we were. We are still supposed to win the game. You're 70% to score in that position. First and goal at the 8. And don't get it done. Just absolutely horrible. And I guess in French they call it the pièce de résistance, was to lose by the hook, allowing Carolina to have. Carolina hadn't scored more than, I don't believe they've scored more than 15 points in their last 5 games. They get in with a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. I guess about 5 minutes left to get 16. And, yeah, of course, they've got to get the 2-point conversion, and we're going to drop that one 21-18 as we laid 3.5. Just an absolute brutal, absolute brutal day to end an absolute brutal week to start a month coming off a brutal month of November. Now, with all that being said and done, for the guys questioning me, follow somebody else. If you don't think beating the number is the way to go, then this is not the place for you. I get it; it's a losing streak; it happens. So we're gonna throw out a couple of quick examples. Number one is the example. Soon as the in-tournament lines come in, and I've already addressed this. So I was under the impression all the games were in Las Vegas. They're not. Just the semifinals and finals are. The first round games are at home teams' home courts. We initially got the lines, and the lines I thought were ridiculous. We went and took the Knicks +6. We went and took the Suns +2. Those both games will get played tomorrow. What happened is, obviously, these games are not in Vegas. After looking at the games, I still like the games. They obviously wouldn't be 5-unit bets, but I still like them enough. I made another Instagram video. I told all our guys. So we told you guys we're still betting these games. So let's just go over them, Ben. Well, I guess we're going to go over them in a little bit. But again, they're not a 5-unit bet. They're still bets. Both games have moved to our direction. Yesterday, we're waiting with bated breath as soon as FanDuel, DraftKings are posting lines for the Cowboys. FanDuel puts up 2.5. The line comes down. Hurts goes into 10th. He comes back out. No concussion. Goes back up. Here's the bottom line. This is my biggest NFL bet of the season. The Dallas Cowboys. I told you guys we're laying 2.5. Then I came back on because 2.5 was gone in moments. I know that. So I specifically said at -3, it's a 4-unit bet. Go lay it. Some of my guys that I like are questioning me. Oh, it shouldn't count on your. Forget my record, guys. The only thing that counts is what's in our pocket. So forget what the record is. Go lay the Cowboys. The line is moving. Again, this morning, we're already looking at that line heading to 3.5, 3 -20, 3.5 dog money. The game is going to go even higher. Let's go through it. I put it in the chat. I have the Cowboys as of this morning 5.3 points better at home than the Eagles are on the road. That's your number. So already 5.3 is a hell of a lot better than 2.5. It's still a hell of a lot better than 3. Now the spot. And the spot says Dallas played on Thursday. And they played at home, their second straight home game, meaning they will not have to have moved since before Thanksgiving when this game comes around. The Eagles played at home. They'll have to travel to Dallas. Eagles played on Sunday. Eagles have been playing wars for 4 weeks. It started with Dallas, then a bye. They go back, they go to KC to get that Super Bowl revenge in the rain. They come home, overtime, rain with Buffalo, and then they get their asses slaughtered yesterday. They beat Dallas earlier in the year, 5 weeks ago. So there's a little revenge. Dallas, they've won the last 5 in Dallas straight up and against the spread by an average of 15.8 points per game. That's the spot. Spot plus the line, the rating, makes it a 5-unit bet. I don't pull bets out of my ass. I don't chase when we're stuck. Make bets. I'm not proven winner. 150-unit bet. We stay with the program. Why is it a big bet? I just explained it. Now, some guys don't know. Because I says we only have your ratings to go by. The ratings are a great starting point, but things that I just mentioned also have to come into play. One, if a team is coming off a bye, playing a team that played on Monday night, we've got to give the team coming off the bye some more points, don't we? If one team owns the other team, we've got to give that team a little bit of an edge, okay? If one team has a circle around a game like the 49ers, we talked about this all week, they circled the Eagle game the day the schedules came out. This was their game. Yes, my numbers couldn't make it, but I no way in the world am I going to bet against that spot. So the spot and the numbers, guys. So I want this to be clear. Guys, anybody that has any questions, I go live on Instagram 6 days a week, basically, at noon. Join me there. Tap in. Ask your questions. Don't come on there and say, who's winning this game today? I got no time for that. Watch the podcast. We're going to go down the whole schedule. But if you want to ask me questions, tap in on Instagram. I'm there every day, noon Eastern. You're more than welcome to ask questions. Matter of fact, I had a guy in the chat go, oh, you don't want guys coming asking questions while you're on a losing streak. I'm the fucking sharpest handicapper in the world. I don't hide. You can ask me any question you want, respectfully. Treat people the way you want to get treated. Back in the day, if somebody was to treat me not so nice, I would treat you not so nice. So treat me nice, be respectful. You can say anything you want. When you beat the nut, look, again, you want somebody just picking fucking names out of a hat, just picking every favorite, go somewhere else. If you believe that by beating the number, you will beat the game, this is where you want to be, because there's nobody that does this. All you got guys is telling you, this game moved 2 points. This is the hot side. Let's go. Oh, the suckers are on this. The public is on this. Let's go against fade the public. The public was what, 8-2 yesterday in the early games before Green Bay? The squares won every game. One way to beat this game, guys. I've been here over 40 years. You beat the number to beat the game. If you're not beating the number, you may as well flip a coin. Any team could win any game. With all that being said and done, huge card today. What I want to touch on before we get to that, though, ratings, yes. Now, if you had to beat them, if you're a Massa Edge better, you got to look at my ratings now in college football differently. We've already had this morning McCord from Ohio State, Gabriel from Oklahoma enter the transfer portal. So these guys are not quarterbacking these teams. So if you go to my ratings this morning and you're looking like, holy shit, look, how could Arizona be the favorite over Oklahoma? I just told you why. How could Ohio State be such a low favorite? I just told you why. They'll be playing second-string quarterbacks. Now, we've got to crunch numbers and stuff, but I don't want you guys jumping ahead and seeing the lines. There are other factors in the bowl games, meaning Georgia, who has won for 2 straight years, is not part of the playoff. Are they going to get up to play this game, to play a Florida State team? Now, I'm not saying they're not. It's just not a guarantee. So I cannot take their number. What I'm trying to say is this. I might look at Florida State now as a team that might come in here with a mission, with something to prove after feeling that they got jobbed against a Georgia team feeling like, what are we playing for? We're the 2-time defending champions. We're not playing for the championship. So there's a lean already there. And you'll go into lesser games. This is why for years your Boise States would always do well in bowl games. They were playing to show they belonged. While you would take a team like let's just say one year if it was Oklahoma, they were missing the big game, feeling they should be in one of the bigger games, playing in a lesser game. That means nothing to them. So your better teams that feeling, hey, we should have been a playoff team with it. They may feel this game is no big deal, while a different school, a lower level school, is trying to win. It's their mission. So just be on guard. The ratings for the bowls are vastly different. It's just a guide when we get to the bowls. Now, for the Final Four, all those 4 teams are going at it. My ratings are as solid as could be. If you go by the ratings, I got to like Michigan. Now, that being said, I'm going to let Ben weigh in a minute. I know you're getting tired of hearing me talk, Ben. I just want to cover everything, and then whatever we do, you guys, again, we're going to be live every day on Instagram. Bring your questions there. I've got Michigan rated number 1. If you take both for the way I have my ratings, I rate teams home and away where nobody else does. The Sagarin ratings, they'll just give you a rating and say, you know what? Do I have it punched up? Sagarin ratings. Well, I do. I have right now in NFL. Their rating for last week was give every home team 2.02 points. Whatever the home team, right? Whether it's the Dolphins at home or if it's the Jaguars, who I actually have rated higher on the road. Every team gets 2 points for the home field. Let me just get back to college. I just want to see where he's at. So for college, every team gets 2.39 for home. Other than that, he just gives you 1 rating, and you can rate the team. So difference is why I'm bringing this up. Sagarin also has Ohio State rated as the number 1 team in the country. This is something you guys can check. Just check Sagarin ratings. While they've got number 1, I've got number 1. They've got Oregon number 2. That was a huge upset. And look, Washington beat Oregon. Yes, they beat them twice. Oregon is still a better team than Washington. It's they just won the matchup. It's what we call an upset. That doesn't mean that they're still not a better team. I've got them rated as the 4th best team, not the 2nd best. And ESPN has actually got them rated the 4th best team also. So good there. Sagarin's got them a little high. Sagarin has got Ohio State the number 3 team in the country. And I've got to look. I said this in my chat. If you're leaving Florida State out and you just want the 4 best teams, there's not a question. It's Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State, and the only question is, my ratings still say Oregon's a little better than Ohio State. Florida State's nowhere in there. Texas is close. I've got them as the 6th best team. But if you just want the 4 best teams, Georgia's one of the 4 best teams. So what I'm just trying to say is my ratings go next to Sagarin ratings. So Sagarin has got Penn State as the 5th best school. Better than Alabama and Georgia. Ridiculous. Again, guys, this is why I say you cannot compare my ratings to anybody. This is the eye test. I don't care what test you want to give it. Penn State is not better than Ohio, than Alabama and Georgia. Again, to me, Georgia, number 2 team. I think Michigan has done what they've needed to do to be called the number 1 team in the country. I think Georgia is 2nd. Again, same thing. Bama beat them, but I still think Georgia's the better team. John, how could you say that if they beat them? Well, they beat them, but we could say about, Bama lost to Texas. Yeah, it was a long time ago. What if they played this team? If I go by who would be favored on a neutral field in this scenario, and that's how I say who the better team is. So, again, it's about ratings, guys. Get back to the basketball. If I give you a bet 2 days ahead of time and the number moves my way 90% of the time, then I might know something. Again, it's about beating a number. If you think it's about anything else, then you probably shouldn't. You should probably go somewhere else. Again, I'm available in the chat. I'm available on Instagram. Ask your questions. Be happy to answer them. Come respectfully, and I'll definitely answer everything, Ben.
Yeah, as far as the college football playoff 4 best team situation, if you're going to take out one undefeated team to have a better team in it, fine. Then take out Washington as well. And like you said, put in Georgia. If the goal is 4 best teams, then we're going to take out any 13-0 team for any reason. Then you might as well start kicking out Pac-12 13-0 team as well, because Pac-12 a little bit inferior there to Big Ten and SEC. So it's tough, weird way to go about it. Florida State, I hate that they did it. It completely diminishes what football is. It makes it about one player more than anything. It completely says forget about the defensive side of football, and that just kind of ruins that as well. So credit to Florida State for winning their games without Travis. I know Alabama is better, but 13-0 has to mean something. If it doesn't, then what's the point of playing the regular season?
Look, what means something is the SEC is the most powerful conference, and they're going to get a team in there. It's politics like anything else. So my beef is more, is it Florida State or Texas? Because you're going to look, SEC is the best conference. It's not even close. What do they boast 5 of the top 10 schools in the poll? Or if I've got here, I've got Alabama and Georgia. Those are 2 of my top 10 schools. Excuse me. You can throw LSU in there. I have LSU as the as my 10th, as my number 10 school. So they would have 3 of the top 10, and then you got A&M and Tennessee are going to be within that top 15 or so. SEC is the best conference, so there's no question about that. So it's all about, do you want the best teams? Well, 2 of them are definitely Alabama and Georgia, and like they just can't be any question about that. But then why play these conference tournaments to what end? So just your conference championship. Anyway, getting back to the main point, which is Florida State will now come in with a chip on his shoulder. Remember, you guys saw the 3rd-string quarterback. Rodemaker, he'll be over his concussion by the time that this game goes off. So they'll come in, chip on their shoulder, something to prove. Georgia, maybe just a little bit of a letdown. Played for the championship last 2 years and now not even involved in the playoffs. So one team with something to prove, one team not. Now, Georgia, again, all the talent in the world could still crush them. But I'm saying these are the angles that I look for, and that's what I want the guys to stay away from watching ratings. Again, 2 quarterbacks, Ohio State's McCord, Oklahoma's Gabriel, already in the transfer portal, so that's going to drop those numbers. Also, got a lot of time for a lot of these games. These are young kids. They get to the city, they get in trouble. It's almost every year you're going to find who's been suspended, who broke curfew, who did what. So a lot of stuff could go on in the next weeks. Again, the Final Four, I like Michigan. Ben doesn't. Ben likes Alabama. I totally understand that. It's the SEC. Michigan, they do not play well in the playoffs. I just think it's their year this year, and my ratings say so. So we'll see how all of that shakes down. Just a heads up on the ratings. And again, guys, now we're going to get back to NFL, NBA. Again, it's the same story every day. Beating the number every day, being on top of the injuries every day, getting the best of the number, waiting for certain spots. And if you're not doing that, if you're just picking games, then that's what you're doing, just picking games. You're not going to win. You cannot beat the juice. We'll beat the juice. You beat the number, you beat the game. I've done this for over 40 years, not for 3, not for 6, over 40 years. It doesn't fail. Anyway, if you don't feel you've got all the answers you want here, please throw them in the chat. Join us on Instagram. All you guys are welcome to tap in. Ben, let's get it going.
Yep, let's talk about some Monday Night Football. We have Bengals going on in Jacksonville, coming off that loss to Pittsburgh. Browning didn't look too great in that, but he honestly wasn't horrible, all considered. They did give up the 400-plus yard game to Pittsburgh. Their first one was 58 games. You have Higgins, who's going to be returning. And then you have this Jacksonville team playing pretty good ball right now. They just won their big game of the year, one at Houston, helps them with the division. Lawrence, another solid night. This just comes down to quarterback injury as far as with Browning being in without Burrow. How much does that work to the line? Can Cincinnati get up for this game? What do they have left? I mean, this is as far as the total, it's obviously under or nothing. We saw that game they played last week. Would imagine it would be something similar. Can their defense give you anything here against Jacksonville to keep it within 10? That's really the question here. Obviously, offensively, you can't be depending on too much. It would be Cincinnati or nobody. I mean, this number's really gotten up high now, ticking up to double digits. Could only want the Bengals at this price. And wouldn't be surprised if they can keep it close enough defensively and, 2013 ballpark.
Cincinnati or nobody, but are they showing up? As that Ben said, that's the question. Are they showing up? Their defense didn't show up last week. Pittsburgh's offense non-existent. Pittsburgh's offense barely ahead of the Giants, the Jets, the Patriots. Yep. They let them go for over 400 some odd yards last week. Are they going to show up? If they don't get shown up, it could be a blowout. If they were embarrassed how they played, and with Browning's second full game, he should be better. He wasn't terrible, not great, but certainly not terrible. We've seen a lot of other terrible performances from backup quarterbacks. Plus 10 or nothing. And as Ben said, hey, you're going to be a genius here. Just bet under. Just bet under in every friggin' night game, and especially if you've got teams like Cincinnati that are having a rough go with the offense. Bengals plus 10. If it's 10.5, I'll bet it myself. Right now, still deciding, do I want it plus 10? 10.5 is an automatic bet. Small bet, not going to bet anything big on a team that's out of it against a team like the Jaguars moving ahead. That's the other thing we talk about. You're down to the nitty-gritty in the NFL now. You got teams falling out. You got teams that must wins if they're going to make the playoffs. So that's the spot here. You got a Jacksonville team in the hunt for the best record in the AFC now. No. KC losing last night, it opened a lot of doors right now.
And we can move on to this in-season tournament. 2 games going on today, one from the East, one from the West. The Eastern bid we have is Celtics going on to Indiana. Celtics, they had that game on Friday, 76ers, no Maxey, no Embiid, still gave them hell, made it a lot closer than it probably should have been. Porzingis, he's going to remain out here. And Boston, all they've done so far is remain tied for the best record in the NBA. Pacers coming off a nice win against Miami the other night. No Halliburton, no problem. They got big production from a bunch of guys. Brown scored 30 points. McConnell off the bench, 20 points, 11 assists. Nembhard, he had 11 assists. So no Halliburton, real full team effort to get it done. This is Pacers or nobody. They met earlier this year. Celtics only crushed them by 51 points. That is enough to get circled for a little revenge spot. The Pacers covered both meetings in Indiana last year. They split those straight out, but they covered both. And this is a revenge spot in that. Got to see what's going on with Halliburton. He is questionable for missing the other night. If Halliburton is in, we'll be on Indiana and the over. I mean, we saw, what was it? The first meeting, they had 259 points. The way Indiana plays at this pace, there will be points in this game.
This pace is insane, and they did it without Halliburton in their last game. McConnell was to come off the bench, TJ McConnell, and played phenomenal. First 6 minutes of the Indiana-Miami game, because here's a game, when you're going bad, I mean, it's just how everything happens. So Saturday, we had put two bets that we wanted to make, which was the Pacer over. We needed Halliburton to play. And the other one was Florida State. If the backup quarterback played, I said I wouldn't want the third-string, 18-year-old redshirt freshman, and for good reason. That kid was absolutely horrible. They'd have been better just running the Wildcat the entire time. But both games won, and both injuries went against us. To get back there, Miami, Indiana, 18 points after the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. They just absolutely blew up from that. This team is just run and gun, and they're gonna get to their 130 and outscore us. And then that's the way they're playing right now. That being said, can't want to take 6 without Halliburton in the lineup. Do I want to play the total? Can they run it up against this Boston team? Remains to be seen. I'm not interested in this game. It's right around where the line I think it should be. With Halliburton in, want to go over. It's marginal. That number's already getting away from us. It's up at 243. I just think the number's right there. A little incentive Pacers will have today, getting crushed at Boston earlier. What I will say is Boston looks like they're taking this in-season tournament serious, and now they're there, so they may as well finish the job. Porzingis, as Ben said, still out. Halliburton, we'll be waiting for the Halliburton info. Halliburton's out. This game's going to probably go to 7. At that point, maybe a lean to Indiana just because McConnell did such a real good job. So we'll be on top of the injuries, and we'll see where the line is later.
And then we had the Pelicans and the Kings in the Western Conference game tonight. Pelicans coming off a loss to the Bulls the other night. Allowed the Bulls to shoot 54%, one of the worst scoring teams in the NBA. They have now dropped 6 of the last 7 road games. Great at home, but shaky on the road. And then you have this Kings team coming off a nice win against the Nuggets the other night. This is interesting matchup history. Pelicans were to beat them twice this year, both in New Orleans. You guys know the splits there. Kings did take 2 or 3 last year, but Pelicans 5-2 straight up against the spread last 7 meetings. Ever so slightly a lean here to New Orleans in this game. Now, their road success makes it really tough to back. Sacramento, though, isn't the most lights-out home team. And I think they're built for this matchup. Match up very nicely. Teams who have been able to take out Sabonis well, that's where teams have had success. So we'll see if the Pelicans are able to do that. But will be a lean to New Orleans. Not enough on this number for me to get on it.
I'm at 3. I'm right where the number is right now. It opened a little higher. Just could not jump on the Pelicans. Here's a game again, guys. If you're a Massa Edge member, you say, John, you should have loved this. This is Pelicans are a 36 on the road. Sacramento 37 should only be 1. Yes, that's the number. Here's the spot. This double revenge. The Kings were at New Orleans. Kings are 3-1, 2-2 against the spread since getting stomped on 2 games in New Orleans. They didn't get beat. They got stomped on. So you got a little double revenge going there. You've got Sac was home for their last game. New Orleans now, they are this is their 3rd stop on the road after losing to Chicago. And as Ben said, they've dropped 6 of their last 7 road games. So that's what makes, for me, that's what makes the number 3. The rating is the starting point. Okay, that's your base number. Then you've got to filter in the other things again. Sac stays at home. Pelicans making their way out west. Kings got a little double revenge in store for them, losing by a combined 41 points 2 games. And there you go. There's your number 3. And that's why I don't have a bet on either of these 2 games. And right now, my only lean would be to the Bengals. I have to decide, do I feel like the Bengals are coming for a game? One bit of news that we didn't mention, they'll get T. Higgins back, the wide receiver. So it will give Browning, another option. So it's Bengals or nobody in that one.
That's the small, short little Monday card we have going on today, guys. There's 3 games. We have 2 games going on tomorrow with the Knicks and the Bucks and the Lakers and the Suns. And then outside of that, then we get back to full NBA slates on Wednesday and Friday. So that is what we have on the NBA schedule.
So what we should do, Ben, it's only 2 games. So let's go. Let me just give the guys a little, because I told them we would do this. These 2 games that we said we'd bet them as soon as they came out. And again, I just want to give you my reasons why we're on these 2 games. If again you're a Massa Edge member, you can see I've got the Knicks rated 38.5 on the road. I've got Bucks rated 40.6 at home. Just a 2.1 difference. We took a number 6. That's you say, wow, it could be a 5-unit bet, but it's really not. Milwaukee's pretty much owned this series. They've won the last 7, 5-1-1 against the spread. But the Knicks did play them tight there earlier this year. 110-105 as a 5-point dog. So expect a closer game. Like the way the Knicks are playing right now. 6 was too much for on the road. We took +6. Again, it would not have been a 5-unit bet, but we stayed with the 5-unit bet. But it still would have been a 3-unit bet. The other game has got Phoenix over in the Lakers. And again, it's if you're looking at the numbers, it's the Lakers 38 at home, Phoenix 37 on the road. So, well, the Lakers are 1. Why such a big bet at 2? Again, wouldn't be a 5-unit bet, but still be a 3-unit bet. Why? Double revenge. Phoenix has went to L.A. early this year. I believe it was the 2nd game. They take an L. The Lakers come into Phoenix just a couple of weeks ago. They beat Phoenix there. So this is double revenge. Home and one of the games being in Phoenix. Phoenix used to own this matchup. Phoenix, when they get their guys together, just give me a sec as we're watching lines move here for the weekend. Also, our Cowboy game, we'll be monitoring that. Phoenix, they finally get Booker back and KD on the court. They both shoot. They have a better shooting game. Expect that to come up a notch. And I like them at Phoenix, at LA. Even though I get the Lakers just 1, I actually make the Phoenix Suns a little favorite with the double revenge, with the prior ownership. Very tough to continually beat a team that's as even as you are at close games. This one, I think, belongs to Phoenix, and we took the Suns. So those are the 2 games for tomorrow, and those are the reasons why I take them. Again, we start with the ratings, and then the spot, and the spot is huge, as I explained, with the Cowboys, as I think the spot's going to be with the Florida State-Georgia game. Now, a lot of things could change. That's a game. That's a month away, that game. But the ones right now, the Cowboy game especially, this is what we talked about all week at nauseum with the 49er game. I couldn't express how much of a spot this is. When you first get that schedule and you circle that game, and that was the game the 49ers had circled. And that's why, for you guys that know what's going on from the opening line, so they opened the 49ers, 11.5, a 12-point favorite. I really wanted to bet Seattle. I mean, I really wanted to bet Seattle in this game. As much as they circle the game, the way they destroyed Philly, this is the antithesis. This is the letdown spot now. They're in a letdown spot when Seattle is in a must-have spot. Seattle played on Thursday. Okay, so they've had extra days to prepare. This is a revenge game, home revenge. 49ers just went there Thanksgiving and whipped their ass. All that being said, that's now 4 straight losses to San Francisco, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. But it's Seattle and nobody, and the Sharps are all over this. They've knocked this game already down to 10.5. That's the spot, the number. So my numbers on this game say San Fran should be an 11.5-point favorite. 24, Seattle 24 on the road. San Fran 35.5 at home, 11.5. The spot belongs to Seattle, but then again, do the 49ers own them? And after that last game, looks like they just might. So that's what kind of kept us off this game. The numbers, the spot, if they both hit you, there's your big bet. If one just takes the other one over that's your average bet. So just trying to give you guys a little bit of an understanding. Again, I'm available for intelligent questions in chat, and you guys are more than welcome to tap in, especially if you're a member or if you're a long-time follower. I'll recognize your name. Tap in on Instagram, and we'll answer questions to clarify it if this isn't clear, because sometimes I don't talk that well, Ben.
Yeah, make sure you guys check that out. Follow on Instagram at John Massa and at Massa Edge. If you guys follow there, then you guys will be able to see where to ask these questions at. A little bit of a shaky weekend, but hopefully we can get December on the right foot today, or maybe actually tomorrow, because as of now, there's no bets out today. We'll see if that changes with anything at halftime, John.
That's it. It could be on Cincy. If it goes to the hook, I will definitely be on Cincy. I will take a shot with them. Still might just got to get that feeling. Let's see what the inactive lists look like later on. Basketball games, don't anticipate a pregame bet. Could be a bet at halftime. That's what we do. We work 16 hours a day. 6 o'clock in the morning, we're up working. We don't stop till halftime of the last game. Nobody puts in the time that we do. That's why we beat the numbers the way we do. The only thing we're not doing right now is winning the games, and we'll get that right. We'll shake that tree right now.
Yes, we will. We'll get it right on the right path. Appreciate all you guys who tune in every day, Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe below, and let's make some money.
Let's make some money, guys.